Yo, what's up? This is the G from the Force Training Academy. I have a beautiful question. It goes like this: is running natural for humans? Perfect. And I have the perfect injury to demonstrate my point. So first of all, let's start. Let's sit down because it hurts standing. What my point is? The running is innate and natural for humans. But humans are not innate and natural for themselves. So we have been evolved in such a way that we are capable of running. But we do not live our lives in such a way that we would maintain ourselves to the state we evolved into it. We are degenerating physically and mentally. And so we are getting away from a position of being able to run. And I have something I can show you to demonstrate this point beautifully. Okay, so there are a couple of standards of running what you need to follow when you think about it. My way of seeing if someone is able to run, if you can do the couch stretch, fine, good. If you can squat with a perfect form or proper form, fine. If you can deadlift with a proper form, fine. And if you can execute jumps, my cue is 3 sets of 5 tuck jumps and 3 sets of 5 split lunge jumps. If you can do these after each other with less than a minute rest in between, and you don't spit your heart out, and nothing hurts, and your posture doesn't collapse, and your knees don't go valgus, then you're good. You're more likely than not to go for a run. If your feet starts turning out, if your knee go valgus, if you're running out of breath for after these 2 sets or 6 sets of jumps, six, then you're not ready. Okay, and even if you're ready, once you get an injury, guess what? You get fucked up again. So you need to fix yourself. So think about this. When you were born, at least my generation, when we were born, we received physical education, and our growing up process, so to say, was based on human movement. So I was climbing trees, I was running around, I was riding my bicycle all the time. I developed the movement patterns, and I developed correct movement patterns. And from the age of, 10, I started to just wear them away, sitting down in school, and then sitting down as an IT professional, and then sitting down as a drummer. It didn't really work out well for my body. In fact, I became extremely obese. I was over 220 pounds of body weight, and not in a good way. So I had good movement patterns to start with, but then they got degenerated as I wasn't using them, as I wasn't using my body to its capacity and in the way I should have done. Now, if I look at kids on the street coming and going, 7, 10, 12-year-old kids, they don't have movement patterns. Their movement patterns is so fucked up. I would risk to say that they already develop degenerated movement patterns. So the way they move is already harmful for their body. This is like, 80% of the modern population, right? I mean, I've been in the States, I've been in the UK, I'm in Malta now, and I've been in Hungary. So these are the countries I've seen. All the same, right? My sister lives in Germany. She reports the same thing when she comes over. I see the same things on herself, her friends. So, I've never been in India. I've never been in Africa. I don't know about these countries where people are actually moving a lot more where they need to walk for water, when they need to go and maybe hunt for food, you know. I'm talking about the modern population. So for us modern people, yes, running is innate, it's a natural movement pattern, but you have to understand that you are not natural anymore. You are not set to your factory standard values. You're way off specification. So you need to fix yourself first. You need to relearn the movement patterns, and once that is done, that's when you can start focus on running. And then obviously you're gonna injure yourself every now and then. Today morning I had a light motorcycle accident and I scuffed my feet, and so it's a little swollen, right? It's kind of painful. I cannot stand on it properly, I cannot step on it properly, and I assume it's going to be like this for about a week or two. So once that's healed, I will need to, realign my body, realign my movement patterns, because as I'm going to live my life, I mean, I have the Force Training Academy to run, I have clients to coach, I have coaches to coach, I have to keep moving. As I will live my life, my body will develop compensational movement patterns to save me from pain and to allow my leg to heal. So I will shift my body weight to my right a little bit more. I will align my right a little bit more. Also my left shoulder is cuffed a little bit, so that's not gonna be back as much against the t-shirt because that hurts. You need to think about all of these things. If you cut your thumb, if you burn your wrist, you're not gonna use your hand that much, which is going to affect your shoulder position in turn. So if you have even a minor injury what lasts for about a week to completely heal, you're probably developing a compensational pattern to be able to live your life. Your body constantly adapts to the environment you live in. And if you're not, once the injury is healed, then you have the choice of living with the compensational pattern, that's the zero energy, you don't make any change, or you have the choice of making the change back to the balanced position. Now, if you don't do anything, guess what? Where are you gonna stay? You're gonna stay with the compensational pattern, because humans are evolved to be lazy. So once you compensated, now it's working, okay, you healed, but why would you change it, right? Your body will not change the compensational patterns, will not spend the energy to bring you back to balance unless you force it, because it's completely functional to stay over there. I mean, you can do what you want, right? So this is what it is. I'm gonna stand up now and look at the way I walk. Can you see that? So my feet is not bending. The right is perfect. I'm gonna come down here. This is perfect, right? The left, you can see it's swollen. It's not bending. So if I flex or dorsiflex from the ankle, I feel it. I feel the tension. It doesn't hurt, but I feel it. If I put pressure on it, I feel the tension. It doesn't hurt, but I feel it. But if I put pressure on it, dorsiflex and flex the toes, then I feel it. Then it hurts. So when I'm walking, look, I need to turn my feet outside, externally rotate from the hip, and just let my leg tip over to the big toe. And so that I can functionally, technically, still walk. But guess what? It puts extra strain on my hip. It makes me unable to recruit my glute in my gait pattern. So, I can sort of limp around in the house for a couple of weeks like this, but if I practice this long enough, then it becomes a habit, and if it's gonna be, swollen and painful for a week or so, then it will become a habit, because how many steps you do a day, right? So if you have to degenerate the way you walk to compensate for an injury, any type of injury, not just this, any type of injury, every step you make is overwriting the program. And so in a week, you would completely change your way of walking. And now you developed a compensational pattern that allows you to scuff around the house, just to limp around a little bit, just to get the cutlery for your fucking delivered food, right? But it's not allowing you to go and run your 5K. Now your feet heals. Guess what happens if I don't fix my hip? If I don't fix this external rotation, this excessive external rotation, if I don't fix the anterior pelvic tilt, it will come as a result of this external rotation. Actually, I feel it happening in my lower back as I'm walking. Guess what, if I don't mobilize my ankle, if the feet heals and I leave my ankle like this, I just don't stretch I don't free up the tissues, I don't stretch into dorsiflexion, I don't stretch into flexion, I don't work on my inversion, I don't work on my eversion, I don't make sure that my ankle is free to move into every direction. Guess what, if I don't make sure that my knee is free to move into every direction, right? It's going to affect my technique to run. And even if I spent a year or a year and a half in developing a proper running technique, 1 week of injury is going to throw me back, so I will have to start it again. Yes, it will take a month or two to bring myself back to the state when I'm able to run again properly. But you know what? That's life. So yes, running is nature for the humans, but only as much as humans are nature for themselves. Ponder on that. Good day.